Today on Who is That Saint? We meet the man who shook the Vatican to its marble foundations. A pope who wore a Dominican habit, rode a donkey through Rome and cleaned house with a broom and a Bible. Pope Saint Pius V was born Antonio Ghislieri in 1504 to poor Italian peasants. He joined the Dominican order at age 14, drawn to its sharp theology and even sharper discipline. His rise was quick: teacher, inquisitor, bishop, cardinal, and eventually at age 62 pope. Now this was the 16th century. The Protestant Reformation was tearing Europe apart. The church was bloated with corruption, and the papal states were a swamp of nepotism and luxury. So what did Pius do? He detonated the status quo. First, he enforced the reforms of the Council of Trent. That meant cracking down on simony, banning bishops from living in sin palaces, and reining in rogue clerics. If you were a corrupt cardinal under Pope Pius V, you had two options: straighten up or get out. He standardized the Mass, what we now call the traditional Latin Mass, with the Roman Missal of 1570, which would be used virtually unchanged for over 400 years. He brought sacred beauty, reverence, and order back to the liturgy. But Pius wasn't just an interior reformer. He was a political juggernaut. In 1570 he excommunicated Queen Elizabeth I of England for her persecution of Catholics. It was bold, risky, and it sent a message: the Church would not play nice with tyrants. But his most famous moment? The Battle of Lepanto. In 1571, the Ottoman Empire was advancing aggressively through Europe. A massive Turkish fleet prepared to conquer the Christian West. Pius formed the Holy League, a naval coalition of Catholic states, and called on every Catholic to pray the Rosary. On October 7, 1571, the Christian fleet won a stunning, impossible victory. Pius credited it entirely to the intercession of Our Lady. He established October 7th as the Feast of Our Lady of Victory, later renamed the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary. The world had been saved, not just by strategy but by prayer. Pius was no soft-spoken diplomat. He was a Dominican firebrand with a spine of steel. But beneath the armor was a humble soul. He wore a hair shirt, fasted constantly, and lived more like a friar than a pope. When he died in 1572, the people of Rome wept in the streets. He had been a hammer, but a holy one. Pope Saint Pius V reminds us that holiness sometimes looks like hard decisions, confrontation, and guts. Reform doesn't come with applause, but it changes the world. Quote of the day: "In the face of danger, let us have recourse to God with confidence, and we shall not be confounded."